Happy Friday, March 22nd, everyone. My name is Hunter here with Weather on the Go, and in today's video, we'll be looking ahead at a significant snowstorm with its timing, its impacts, and the amounts, etc. with this storm. We'll also look at the severe weather potential on the warm side late this weekend and early next week, and then we'll look ahead at the long-range forecast with an active pattern. Does it persist into early April? We'll answer that question later on in today's video. If you are new here and you like detailed, accurate weather forecasts, be sure to press the subscribe button down below. We have you covered here at Weather on the Go all throughout the year, and be sure to press the thumbs up button, the like button. It helps out more than you know. So let's look at our low temperatures waking up this morning, and it is definitely colder to the north, feeling more wintry across portions of the northern plains, the upper Midwest, through the Great Lakes, the Ohio Valley, and then up into the Northeast. Temperatures ranging from the teens into the 20s and low 30s this morning. And further south, any precipitation we have this morning will be in the liquid form of rainfall with temperatures into the 40s and 50s. And let's look at our temperatures over the next couple of days. You can see this afternoon, the colder air will remain bottled up to the north. So the northern tier of the United States, we'll see more of that wintry weather with our system moving through. Milder weather to the south. This will keep us all rain. And going into Saturday, much of the same. Colder to the north and a little bit milder, warmer to the south on Saturday. And the same thing can be said as we go into Sunday, March 24th as well, to end the weekend. Let's look at our weather alerts here out the door this morning. We have a lot going on here, so let's break it down for you. We have winter storm watches here in the lighter blue across portions of Montana, the Dakotas, and Minnesota up into northern Wisconsin. That's with our second snowstorm. That could be putting down some very significant totals for March, but we still have ongoing winter weather advisories this morning across the Midwest, including Wisconsin there, southern Wisconsin, southeastern Minnesota into Iowa, northern Illinois, over here into Michigan, and then on over here into portions of interior New England, New York State, portions of western Massachusetts. Winter storm warnings stretching from upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and up there into portions of Maine, where they're gearing up for significant snow with their first system. So a lot going on here. Let's break it down for you. So going through today, here's our Clipper system. This system originated up there in southern Alberta, Canada. So this is called an Alberta Clipper, and this is moving across portions of the Midwest into the Great Lakes today. As you notice in the Chicago area, Milwaukee, even over toward Detroit this morning, you may notice some freezing rain, some sleet, and even some snow out your door today. As we go into tonight, this is going to become more of a rainmaker for the mid-Atlantic and the southeast. Lots of heavy rain here up across the Georgia there, in toward the Carolinas, Virginia, into West Virginia, western Pennsylvania, seeing some very heavy rain, but starting to see more wintry precipitation, concerning about a little bit of an ice threat there across southern portions of New York State tonight. And then looking at Saturday, this is a big slug of moisture. Our energy from the south down here will meet up with our Alberta Clipper and join forces for a more significant winter event across portions of the Northeast on Saturday. And zooming it in here, a more significant winter event is likely as we have more heavy wet snow on the northern side where the column of air is cold enough to support snow. And then as we start to see warmer air moving in on the warmer side, we start to see more rain for the I-95 corridor, but where it's just shallow enough, that cold air is just shallow enough near the surface, we could be mixing in some sleet and freezing rain here for a narrow corridor for coastal portions of Maine, down through Vermont, New Hampshire, and even central New York State toward the Albany region. So we'll watch that on Saturday, and then Sunday we dry out from west to east, and we start to leave behind a lot of that snow, and we'll definitely need the snow blowers going in toward the weekend, because look at some of these snow totals, folks. We're talking a few inches of snow here across the Midwest into the central Great Lakes, the heaviest around southern Wisconsin, in toward the Milwaukee region, Green Bay, and then stretching over there toward Grand Rapids, Michigan. 2 to 4 inches is on the way through Sunday, but it's the Northeast as we have that moisture from the southeast moving in up the East Coast, and then the energy from the Alberta Clipper moving across the Great Lakes. They're going to join forces, and that is what we're going to see for more significant snowfall totals from upstate New York through Vermont, New Hampshire, and even into portions there of central and northern Maine. Maine, some of these areas could be seeing north of 12 inches of snow. Above a foot of snow is possible, so definitely need the snow blowers, the shovels, and the plows out here. But I am concerned about a freezing rain setup here in a narrow corridor, coastal Maine, the Portland region, down here into portions there of central Massachusetts, southern New Hampshire and Vermont, into central New York State toward the Albany region. Some of these areas could be seeing upwards of a quarter, maybe isolated half-inch totals of ice accumulation going into the weekend here, and this could be causing some more major travel concerns. So if you are traveling out across Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, upstate New York, or even Massachusetts, make sure to take it slow on those roadways, folks, this weekend. Saturday the 23rd into Sunday the 24th. It is going to be a big deal. It is March, and we can still see some significant weather. Now we turn our attention back to the west. Later this weekend, especially for Sunday, noticed a big bowling ball here trough moving in across the southern plains, with the mouth of the trough down here producing severe weather likely later this weekend across the southern Great Plains. That major trough will be moving into the eastern U.S. early next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday time frame. So let's break this down for you on a precipitation perspective. So there's our weekend system. That's moving east. We turn our attention to the west here. We have heavy wet snow in the higher elevations on Saturday. The Pacific Northwest, the Cascades, the Rockies, and even the Sierras down in the Pacific Southwest, seeing some very healthy snowfall totals there going into Saturday. Coastal rainfall there for California. Our big snowstorm gets underway across the north here from Montana into the Dakotas, into Minnesota and Iowa, stretching over to Wisconsin. These areas could be seeing widespread 1 to 3 inch per hour snowfall rates as this surface cyclone matures to a 984 millibar low on the lee side of the Rockies on Sunday, and then really starts to mature as it kicks out across eastern Nebraska there into the Hawkeye state of Iowa. This is dropping to a 990 millibar low on Monday. So you see a tight deformation snow band on the backside, wind-driven snow, 1 to 3 inch per hour snow rates really piling up from Minneapolis, St. Paul there, Rhinelander, Wisconsin, and then back here through portions there of Rapid City in toward Lincoln, Nebraska. We'll keep an eye on that, and even some snow down in western Kansas can't be ruled out on Monday. Cold frontal severe weather set up there across the lower Mississippi Valley on Monday. We'll keep an eye on that. Very deep system going into Tuesday. More of that heavy snow lingering into portions of the eastern Dakotas, Minnesota, and northern Iowa. Cold air advection on the backside. Watching more severe weather potential as we go into Tuesday across the Dixie Alley region and the southeast. And then finally that system makes headway into southeastern Canada. Still a strong low though, 999 millibars. Heavy snow up here this time into Ontario and Manitoba, Canada, and that cold front will be weakening as it moves further east as this system starts to occlude as we get towards Wednesday, March 27th. What are we looking at for snowfall totals? Everyone wants to know. Here is Saturday, March 23rd through Wednesday, March 27th. Significant snow here for our folks in the upper Midwest and the northern high plains, but also out west. So let's start out west here. The Cascades in Washington State and Oregon, and even down in the Sierras in California could be seeing above a foot of snow. We're talking 1 to 2 feet in the highest of elevation. Some decent snows for the Rockies here, at least several inches there. And then across our northern states, you're definitely seeing a decent snow for March standards. I mean, we haven't had a lot of snow across Minnesota back into the Dakotas, but boy, are we going to get it here, folks. There could be isolated instances of 18 to 24 inches of snow. That's 2 feet, folks, into south central portions there of Minnesota. We're looking at around 12 to 18 inches there officially in towards the Minneapolis-St. Paul vicinity through next week. So this is going to be a big snowmaker across the north through Wednesday, and a big rainmaker. On the warm side of the storm, look at all the heavy rain down here across the deep south into the southeast. Widespread rainfall amounts that could be 1 to 3 inches here from Arkansas into Louisiana, over here into Mississippi and Tennessee into Alabama. That'll stretch over there into Georgia, into the western Carolinas there, and even North Florida. So the majority of Dixie Alley in the southeast will be feeling the effects of the heavy rain and flash flooding potential through the middle of next week. And we really have to keep an eye on the severe weather potential on the warm side of the storm. Here is Sunday, March 24th. The day 3 outlook from our friends at the Storm Prediction Center does put out a marginal to slight risk of severe weather, marginal in the dark green. That's a level 1 out of 5, a slight risk, a level 2 out of 5 in the yellow from central Kansas down into west central portions of Oklahoma here. And then as we go into Monday, this is more of a lower Mississippi Valley event here, as we don't really have strong moisture return that far north, but the mouth of that trough is going to be down here. So a lot of dynamics working for East Texas, southern Arkansas, Louisiana into Mississippi, from Jackson over here to Shreveport, Baton Rouge, and even Tyler, Texas. We'll keep an eye on you folks as we go into Monday, March 25th. Let's break it down even further with the timing of these storms here. Here's your lightning flash density. This basically just shows you where those thunderstorms and lightning strikes will be as we go through the day on Sunday. Here's Sunday morning. Outside of an isolated or stray shower or storm, really not seeing anything getting going Sunday morning. It's really Sunday afternoon, off the cold front, off the dry line here. We're going to start to pop those supercell storms at the heat of the day. All modes of severe weather will be in play. Damaging winds, large hail, and yes, isolated tornadoes even Sunday afternoon. This will start to form at least a broken line, if not a full squall line of storms from southeast Kansas through central Oklahoma here, through the Oklahoma City, Norman region, down there just west of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and then making its way back towards West Texas. We'll have to be watching out for widespread damaging winds, also potentially some large hail and tornadoes even Sunday evening. Then we wake up the next day on Monday morning, the 25th of March. Isolated severe weather, mainly large hail producers will be watching out for the Dallas-Fort Worth area and east of I-35, maybe an isolated stronger storm there into Arkansas as well Monday morning, but it's really Monday afternoon. Again, peak heating of the day, crossing east of I-35 here, definitely watching Shreveport, Baton Rouge, and Alexandria down here into Louisiana Monday afternoon, and then it's really Monday evening, I think, the peak of this event. And look at these individual cells that this model is showing. That does give you the idea that we could have discrete, if not semi-discrete, supercells that could be producing tornadoes. So I do think, in my opinion, Monday is a much bigger day for severe weather than Sunday, but both days definitely need to be taken seriously altogether. What happens after that? So later next week, we have another system moving into the West Coast, and that's going to be traversing east, and you can see that moving across the mid-Missouri Valley into the Ohio, Tennessee River Valley next weekend. But then even behind that, another strong system moving into California. So a relentless wave train of storms. It's Mother Nature's March Madness, if you will, and we're definitely going to feel the effects of it through the end of March. So here's Thursday, March 28th. You can see there's the cold front from our second storm. That'll be moving east. Here's our third storm. More heavy snow again out west. Sierras, Cascades, the Rockies again, you name it. And then you can see on Friday that moves across portions of the plains. Watching Friday, maybe Saturday for a severe weather setup there in the Great Plains. We'll keep an eye on that. And then a big trough moves in, much like we see this weekend, but again, across the desert southwest. Very heavy snows in those higher elevations again for the Sierras, Saturday into Sunday. Rocky snowfall event, especially for Colorado. Denver could get some very heavy snow to end the month there on the 31st. Another severe weather setup perhaps across the southern plains. So you get the idea. Mother Nature is providing us with its March Madness as we go through the end of March. And let's look at our total snowfall. So from today through Sunday, March 31st, here's all the snowfall you could see on the ground, folks. Across the West, we're going to be in no short supply. The Rockies, the Cascades, the Sierras here, and across the upper Midwest, the northern high plains, southern and southeastern Canada, and interior New England. Going to see a lot of that snow through the end of the month, and a lot of heavy rain too. So on the warm side, we're going to be seeing a lot of moisture across the deep south, the southeast, and then up the east coast. Some areas could be seeing over 6 inches of rain between now and March 31st out there into portions of the west coast, but also the east coast, the I-95 corridor. So we're definitely watching that for some flooding. Turning into early April, this is your 500 millibar height anomalies from Monday, April 1st through the following Monday, April 8th. And we're likely just going to see an extension of our pattern from late March into early April. We have more of those troughs moving in across the west. Those will traverse west to east across the United States. And then we're going to see a lot of that colder air persisting across the lower 48, especially out west here, as we put down a heavy snowpack across those higher elevations. That's going to enhance some of that colder air eastward into the portions of the central and eastern 2/3 of the country as we go into the first week in April. And then you can see the storm track. We still have a similar storm track in early April that we do in late March. Heavier snow to the north, again, same areas, upper Midwest, northern high plains, back into the west and Pacific Northwest again. And then you see the warm side, heavy rain again, same areas here, deep south, southeast, and up the east coast. And this is going to be a problem as we have a cumulative effect of heavy rain over the same areas, saturated soils, and we could definitely see some flash flooding. But the good news taken out of this is at least if we can get moisture in parts of the upper Midwest here, the Central Plains, and even areas like into Arizona, New Mexico, and West Texas, hopefully we can get some moisture from these systems late March, because we still have those moderate, severe, and extreme drought impacts across those regions, even up into Iowa there. So that is something we'll keep an eye on going through the rest of the month, and hopefully we can get moisture in those areas. So I know that was a lot of information, folks. It is a busy time of year. Severe weather season is underway. We have more snowstorms after what was a quiet winter. Well, winter's back with a vengeance, and we'll keep you covered right here. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you do like this coverage, make sure to subscribe to the channel down below. We'll keep you updated with accurate weather forecasts moving forward throughout the year. Be sure to press the thumbs up button, the like button down below. It helps out more than you know, and I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their Friday out there.